Brandin Podziemski on the River Islands guest line. Hey, Podz, what's going on, man? Are you in Milwaukee right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, thanks for coming on, man. Can we start? We were just talking about the experience you had as the keynote speaker, graduation at your former school. What was that like?
It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was a great opportunity that I had. But I'm sure you guys have probably read the article by now.
Yes.
From Dalton Johnson. But, yeah, it was good. I just tried to resonate with the kids. Obviously, they all understood that I walked the same hallways, same classrooms, did a bunch of the same stuff they did. So I think hearing a message from me, it resonated a lot more than, just somebody else.
You don't have to give the speech to us here right now, Brandin, but can you tell our listeners the main message? What were you trying to impart onto the high school kids?
Yeah, I talked a little bit about leadership. I talked a little bit about adversity, how no matter if you choose a regular job, you choose to go to college, military, whatever it is you choose to do, adversity is going to be a part of your life. And it's what you do with it. That's kind of how it's going to shape your life. And so I just try to get that across to them while explaining my journey after I left St. John's and how I, utilized that in my life to get to where I am now.
Podz, I was thinking kind of about what that experience must have been like for you from this standpoint. It sounded like you tried to put yourself in their position, go back in time a little bit. You're still a young player in the NBA. You're still building that side of your world. But it also sounded like you were kind of looking back on the old days and got a little nostalgic. So what was that experience like personally to kind of try to put yourself back as if the whole NBA thing hadn't happened yet?
Yeah, absolutely. And I get nostalgic every time I step foot on campus there. I worked out this morning there. Every time I go there, just like the smells of the buildings, the air, just like every time I get goosebumps going back there because it really was like the start of my basketball journey. And so, yeah, it was really nostalgic being back in front of people talking about my experience and stuff like that. So that's why I thought it made it like very like heartfelt and from the heart, like where I was speaking from, because that place does mean a lot to me.
This might be a weird question, but I wonder how you feel about it. Was life more challenging then or now?
Oh, definitely now. It's way more challenging now.
Why is that?
Back then, I referenced it in my talk with Dalton, but it's just you're a kid that's around a bunch of other kids, and everything's taken care of. Essentially, you don't got to pay for anything. You just got to show up and do what's asked of you. And I just feel like now, as an NBA player, you got to watch everything you do, not just on the floor, but off the floor. And obviously, you got to take care of you, your people, your family. So there's a lot of more weight on your shoulders now than there was when I was 15 going to school there.
Before you were an NBA player, but also after your high school career, you went through some stuff too. Obviously, you originally committed to Illinois, and I know that didn't go great for you there, and then you transferred to Santa Clara. Was that part of your speech as well at graduation, just what you had to go through to ultimately find a spot that was rewarding for you and led to where you are now?
Yeah, I talked a lot about it. Talked to, like I said, the adversity piece. That's one of the big ones that's happened in my life. And I think during that moment when I didn't play at Illinois, like I was able to just put my pride aside and just be like, I'm okay going to a lower level, which at Santa Clara, which is a mid-major. And I was like, I'm cool with doing that because at least I have an opportunity. And so I kind of just mentioned it to that. It's not about like the glitz and glamour of like the biggest things in life sometimes. Sometimes it's just small steps that'll get you the farthest. And obviously you guys have seen that it's got me where I am now. So it was a good move on my behalf, I think.
Brandin Podziemski is with us here on Willard and Dibs. Grandy is in for Dibs on 95.7 The Game. Hey, you're not going to Minneapolis tonight, are you?
I am not. I will be up there Sunday, though. My cousin graduates high school, so I'll be up there Sunday, but I will not be up there tonight for the game.
Okay. Do you get, at that graduation, do you get to just sit there and be a family member, I hope?
Yes. That's one of the beautiful things about being back home in Wisconsin. I think they really do a good job of whenever one of our pro guys comes back, whether it's me, Tyler Hero, J.J. Watt, like, they leave us alone. Like, Giannis can walk around for free around here and nobody bothers him. So they do a really good job here of just understanding that we're human too, and we can just be regular people when we come home.
Okay, I was going to ask you about the Valkyries, and we will, but that's a super interesting comment. Is being a celebrity in Wisconsin different than being a celebrity in San Francisco?
Way different, like so different. That's part of the reason why I like coming home so much in the off season, just because you just get to, I feel like you're a kid again. You obviously not, but you can just go places. You don't, got to shy away from crowds, anything like that. People treat you just who you are as a human and not anything more. So it's way different than San Francisco for sure.
Is that a Wisconsin thing or is that a Midwest thing in general?
I think it might be just kind of like the Midwest culture. I'm not sure how it is in other states, but I know there's people I've talked to, like even like guys like Christian Yelich, Cotton Knipple, those guys, like when they're just walking around, everything is fine. Even now, I'm really good friends with Willie Adames, and he just played last night here, and I went to the game. But even Willie told me when he was here, like they just let him be who he was and didn't really take too much like of his time and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's a Midwest thing, it might just be a Wisconsin thing, but.
So you keep bringing things up that make me, well, like, that's interesting. How's Willie doing? Because obviously they're struggling, BP.
Yeah, Willie's good. I went to the game last night, so it was kind of a boring game. Obviously, Logan Webb had a perfect game going into the sixth, but he's good. We talk a lot. I actually was texting the other day about him buying a baseball glove of like what kind of glove I have to get next, and so he gave me some recommendations. So I actually bought a glove and whatnot. So it's been good. We just got constant communication about anything, so it's been cool. Hopefully, he comes to some games this year for us.
I know that you think highly of your baseball ability as well. And I know you threw out a first pitch in the past. Have you played catch with Willie? Anything like that, or any big leaguer?
I haven't played catch since I went to the Brewers game a couple times ago with Bryce Terang. I'm kind of close with him too. He lives close to where I live here. So, but yeah, I bought a baseball glove because I was talking to Willie about it, and I think I'm going to try to pick it up a little bit this summer on my off time. Just another hobby.
Love it. Brandin Podziemski is with us on 95.7 The Game. All right, let's talk Valks a little bit. 6-3. This is a pretty good start. What are you seeing as far as how much of a threat they are this year versus what you saw last year?
Yeah, I'm seeing depth. I'm seeing versatility. A lot more tough decisions that Natalie's going to have to make as a coach of, who do I play? How many minutes do I play him? Who plays down the stretch? I think last game was good to see, like, they can win a game when Gabby Williams doesn't score a lot. They found a way to win. I think she was like 4 for maybe 13, 14, whatever it was. I don't remember, from the field, and they ended up winning. So other people got to step up. I don't want to mispronounce her name, but the girl that we picked up last year, number 4, she can really shoot the ball. I don't know how to pronounce her name correctly. But, yeah, I think it's been good. Everybody's kind of stepping up, playing different minutes every night, which is cool to see how they're just figuring it out on the fly. Yeah,
Yuste Yotite, the last year's draft selection. Yeah, she's a baller. She can really shoot from downtown. I'm curious, when you're a professional athlete and you're on a team that's trying to figure out exactly who you are, you go up against the league's best, and they've played New York. I know that no Sabrina Ionescu in that game. They won that game in New York. They played Indiana twice, won one, lost one. They lost to Las Vegas, probably the best team in the league more recently. I'm curious, when you are a team that's trying to figure out who you are, just how important are those games versus the best teams in the league? Measuring stick games, how much do you as an athlete take into account, take stock based on how you perform in those games?
Yeah, I think it means a lot, but I also feel when you're the team that doesn't really know who you are, you really play with like a nothing to lose mentality. And I think you kind of saw it against a couple of games when we didn't have Steph or Jimmy, like in New York against the Knicks, in Oklahoma City. We ended up beating the Rockets in Houston. So those games where it's like it's a measuring stick, but it's also like you go in with nothing to lose mentality. You just go out there and hoop. I think there's a little bit of that. I think me personally, I think Minnesota's the best team in the league right now, and that's who they play tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how they play. Obviously, no Nafisa Collier yet, but I think Minnesota is going to end up being probably the best team in the league.
Podz, did you see the Valkyries go against the Fever and Caitlin Clark? And if you would, also maybe share a little bit about what your experience was like at the Giants game sitting right near her.
Yeah, I watched the game on TV, and it was a good experience. Larry, I think he one of the either owner or GM. We were actually sitting close to each other, and then he actually introduced me to her and then her boyfriend Connor. I played against when I was at Illinois, and he was at Iowa. Yeah, we were just talking some hoops and stuff like that. Nothing too serious, but it was cool. Cool to meet her.
Pods, obviously the Warriors, they got the 11th pick in the draft coming up later this month. I'm not going to ask you to break down a bunch of different players or who they should draft. I do know, though, the team that you played on, Santa Clara, has another potential first-round pick. Allen Graves, he hit the big three versus Kentucky in the tourney. Of course, we know how it ended, unfortunate for your Broncos. But I wonder, could you give us a little scouting report on Allen Graves, since I'm sure you're familiar with him because he's a Bronco?
Yeah, I think Allen will probably get picked right around where I was picked. I think late teens, early 20s, probably where he get picked. He's kind of a wing. He play multiple positions. I think people really underrate his shooting ability just because he didn't shoot that much at Santa Clara from the three-point line. But I think he's a really good shooter, obviously really smart, just understands how to play the game, and I think that gets lost a lot of times when picking people. Because a lot of people value like athleticism and stuff like that, those physical features. But he's just a really good player, like all around, just like understands every aspect. There's nothing that you can say like he's deficient at. So I'm excited to have another Bronco in the NBA with me and Jalen, and it'll be exciting.
Podz, I want to get your response to this as well. You're kind of the perfect guy to ask this because I think your journey through becoming an NBA player and experience on the social media stuff. We've talked about it before. We had a conversation here, and it was inspired by Caitlin being in town about how the WNBA seems to struggle at times a little bit with their newfound attention, and sometimes that relationship can get a little bit prickly. And I'm sitting here thinking the WNBA needs to be really welcoming. But I know that there sometimes feels like there's a little chip on their shoulder based on either the way things are talked about or where that's gone before. What is your thought on the way that the WNBA and its players have kind of positioned themselves in the public as they rise in terms of attention?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just human nature. When you're the best at what you do, and in their case, they're the best women's basketball players in the world, you want that attention. I feel it would be the same way for us as men if we didn't get the same recognition that we thought we deserved from the outside as well. So I don't think it's anything like it looks a little different because it's newer, but I feel like it would be the same if it was flipped and we didn't get the attention we thought we deserved. So I think they're just doing what they feel is right for them. When you speak about the new CBA that they did and all that kind of stuff, the money they think they want and deserve, like they're doing things on behalf of them, what they believe in. And so it's powerful to see that, them coming together as a whole big group and just standing for what they believe in. So I think that's very powerful when you look at it in that aspect.
It's a fair answer, man. Hey, Podz, great to have you. Congrats on both the graduation that you got to speak at and the one that you'll attend later on this week. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks, man. Thank you.